海賊王になる男だ。
What is going on, guys? It is your boy Cali Mac on the track, and we're bringing it back, and we are back with Strawhat Sitdown, episode 146.
Hey, let's
go.
I am here with the crew as usual, and I say as usual because that boy Mr. G is back in the building. Yes,
Hey.
Hello.
Yo.
Konnichiwa.
Yo, that was crazy. I'm not gonna lie, bro. That was a little crazy. But you just came from Japan. So I'll give you a pass. You feel me?
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed your trip. You want to talk about it a little bit?
Oh yeah. Shout out to my my beautiful wife for setting up this trip. We were there for her cousin's wedding, but then she was salvaged it because the wedding was But some good time, and then after we went to the island hopping, we went to the Grand Line, went to Japan, got a new straw hat that I'm wearing right now. This shit's more official, bro.
It's clean. Yeah, that one's clean.
People love their One Piece over there, bro. The lady saw the One Piece tattoos. They said, "Oh, so kawaii,"
Yo.
that shit had me ready, bro. I was like, I told you pull down, bro. I was like, you gotta do you, bro. I feel you. I was like, yes. So shout out to my wife, I love her. Thank you for everything, and also shout out to you guys for holding it down. I was out for 3 episodes, so YHUS uploading and everything. You guys, consistency is key, and I love it. So thank you guys.
Absolutely, bro.
You already know, bro. We gotta hold it down.
And I missed it, man. I missed being on. I'm not gonna lie. I got some.
The sit down missed you, bro.
Yeah,
of course, 100%.
I think literally last episode, maybe Yarl's name came up, and Callie was like, "If only Misty was here."
Yeah, it was 100%.
No, definitely. And I also did get another. I got a Kuma tattoo. Callie did this out 2 episodes ago.
That was what I was talking about. That shit looks so clean, bro.
Yeah. So I got that Kuma running, and then also shout out to my boy Nika. I got the panel tattoo on my shin on my left leg. It's Luffy, Law, and Kid. It's when they appear in Wano on the sea. When they're like, when you're at sea, you fight pirates, and I love that panel. I know we've spoken about it before, so I got part 1 done, just like the black stuff, the outline and everything like that. I'll get coloring next time, but I'm definitely excited.
Nice.
But One Piece, baby.
Nah, that's it. Welcome back. We definitely appreciate you having back. Glad you enjoyed your trip, and you came back on a hell of a chapter. I'm not gonna lie, we got a lot to discuss today.
Yes, we do.
Mod, I'm sorry you got skipped today. Unfortunately, you were not first, but sure, Mod is in the building. What's going on, my brother?
It is all good. I do not mind you being skipped. But I'm doing pretty good. It's funny because I have such PTSD from the fact that we've been going so long with breaks, and we might get 1 chapter then back on break. So
yeah,
it's the first time I think we had 2 chapters in a row, and I'm just savoring it. So I'm just happy about that, honestly.
Yeah, and I believe we're getting another one next week too.
I think so. Yeah,
that's what Sean Jump was saying.
Fruit ass chapter, bro.
Hopefully go for 3 for 3. Yeah, all right. Last but not least, that boy YHUS in the building, my brother. What's going on, family?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. I'm excited for this chapter. Honestly, this chapter is low-key monumental as fuck, right? One of the biggest reveals ever.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's funny. I want to shout out my boy who's in the chat. My fucking not literal, but literal brother. And he's been Shanks' lawyer for 5-6 years. And, finally all the charges. So I'm excited to see this episode. I'm excited to talk about you guys, and I'm glad Mrs. back. So let's fucking get into it, man.
Let's do it.
We have one more thing to say though, right? One more thing to talk about.
We do have one more thing to say. We are coming up on our 150th episode of the Strawhat Sitdown, and in honor of that, we are going to be doing a giveaway for some lovely Devil Fruits 3D models.
Yes, sir.
Courtesy of the boy Mr. G right there. I want to say the fruit names, but I don't know them. But we got the heart fruit, and you say them because
So we got Lost fruit, right? The heart fruit, and then we also got Brooks fruit. I actually made this recently. I got this gold to red. I try to give it a tinge because it's not a one color fruit. If you look it up, it's yellow with orange and red on it. It's hueing. So I tried going for something like that, and it came out fire. So
that's fire.
And then I also have mirror fruit too. I can make them bigger, whatever, but we'll definitely be doing a giveaway for our 150th. So please, drop a follow on all our platforms. That would be the best way.
Right. Make
to
sure you
get one
guys
of
like
these.
and subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter, on all the socials. You feel me? We'll give more details for the giveaway at a later date, closer to the 150th episode. So make sure you guys stay tuned, and you have a chance to win one of these awesome little prizes. Big shout outs to Mr. G again, the GOAT.
Of course.
All right. With that being said, let's get into it, baby. We got a new chapter. I know why that's his boy is hype, as are a lot of Shanks fans. A lot of allegations have been beaten. Yep. Some celebrations, some booing. There's a lot going on in the community today, man. But we're here to break it down. Let's get into it. Right? Let's go right into it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Chapter 1137, introducing Shamrock. Not too much on the cover story. We knew they were headed towards whatever this factory facility is, and they're just peeking inside. I don't know any of these people that they're looking at. I don't know if they're supposed randoms. To be okay. Yeah. So there's really not much to go off on this panel. They're literally just entering the area.
The one thing I'll say is, like, you see they have the hats on or whatever, right? So clearly, and we saw the Who's Who banner at the top or whatever. But from what I remember, when we saw Who's Who, when Jinbei pulled up on him, his crew, I think they're called Cats, like capital CATS, were all women, in like the Panther like leather suits or whatever. So I think it's like weird that there's like mandem following him, have his hats on or whatever. I think it's strange. Makes me think that maybe it's not Who's Who, that's maybe they just like are in his banner or whatever. I don't know. It's just like
is Who's Who like post time skip like Kuro, with the cat pirate shit? Like it's I don't know.
Yeah,
that's one way to look at it. Yeah, like it is the Black Cat Pirates, yeah, in his own way.
Like they're trying to come back, bro. Like
yeah.
They whack, bro. I can't. I hope the next cover page we get to see something crazy.
Yeah, there's not too much to talk about on this one, but hopefully we'll get into some of the next one. Let's get into the actual chapter. We start this chapter at the castle where Luffy, Zoro, Nami, and Rodo.
Yeah,
Rodo. I think Rodo.
Yeah, they've been flipping between Rodo and Rodo. I think it's like Zolo and Zoro. Like they're both right. Probably.
Okay, pervert, giant navigator.
Boom.
We're at the castle with the four of them. He's giving some background, talking about in the 14 years since King Harold's death, no one has dared approach the castle, or at least he thought, because there's a hole broken into the door.
Of note immediately, I think, is that we learned how long ago King Harold died.
Okay, yeah, 14 years.
I think we assumed it was 6 years ago, right? Because that's when Loki was caught.
Right.
But no, now we know it was 14 years ago. But Loki was caught 6 years ago, so that means there was 8 years between those things, where he was maybe at sea before he got caught by Shanks, which is interesting.
Interesting. So yeah, he probably wasn't immediately caught then. That's a good fact. Yeah, so the door is broken through, no guards are there, they don't know what's going on, but of course Luffy doesn't care. He's trying to find these keys and goes barreling into the almost war-torn castle. It looks crazy in here. There's rubble all over the floor and stuff. There's trees growing throughout the castle. I don't know if that's a sign of abandonment or if that's how the castle just always was. I mean, it's growing into the trees, so I guess it could have been part of it.
I think you're right. I think that's part of like because it was abandoned,
right?
Probably.
But they say no one's apparently approached the castle in 14 years, so
they probably just so, like, I'm assuming it didn't like flow into the walls as terribly. Maybe they trimmed it before, but I think it's more abandoned and it just was that way before a little bit.
Yeah. So Luffy's on a mission. He's looking for the keys. He asks Rodo if he knows what the keys are, but Rodo has no clue. They end up venturing further into the castle. One of them asks if all of this destruction is from whatever intruders are possibly in the castle, but Rodo says this is from the battle with Loki, which is insane because like half the castle is almost in ruin.
Yeah.
And Zoro even comments on it. He says that's some serious devastation. Rodo says that Loki was a monster, but King Harold was also a great warrior in his own right, and when two warriors like that class, destruction is inevitable. And as they press forward, they go into a room that is almost like a graveyard for giants, with a whole bunch of giant skeletons and abandoned weapons scattered around the floor.
It really shocks me they didn't bury any of these guards.
They just let them here to decompose.
Yeah, I wonder what that has to do with their culture or whatever. Because like that just sounds crazy to me, but
Yeah, because normally like they would like Viking lore, they would burn their
yeah.
bodies of the warriors, after a battle. So
Yeah, it surprised me like because technically they all failed their duty too. Like you want to give them some repose or something. I don't know. It's weird.
oh, I feel you.
I just find it interesting.
That's a good pickup.
Yeah, well, they talk about it a little bit too. They say, well, this is from the battle with Loki, and that the only survivors were Loki and Chief Jarl. And they say that it was such a shocking and bloody scene that it was agreed the castle should be sealed and left untouched afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Which is why they all got decomposed. Yeah. Yeah. So Luffy's standing on top of the giant skull playing around, and he finds a skull with horns, like oars, which he makes the comparison to. And we get a little bit more giant lore with Rodo saying the largest bones belonged to the warriors with the blood of ancient giants. And that there are no longer any purebloods, but some still have traces of it in their history. And that King Harold himself was very large and mighty.
So even giants have like more giants, like
yeah, like different clans.
Yeah, they talk about that a little bit later in the chapter too. Rodo says as they're talking about the king, Rodo tells him to look up, and we see a portrait, and we get the first clear image of King Harold. He looks like Kaido's cousin. I'm not gonna lie to you. This shit is crazy. This is literally like Kaido in Two Piece. This shit is crazy.
I'm weak.
They just made him bald. That's it.
Yeah, very menacing for someone who was supposed to be a kind, benevolent king. Yeah.
But like they said this chapter, he was a great warrior. So
yeah.
It was a choice to be kind, to be peaceful, which is interesting.
Yeah. So Rodo goes on to say he was the greatest king of Elbaf, of course, so everyone says. And that the scars on his head is where he ripped out his horns, which was the mark of his ancient giant blood.
Yes.
Because it reminded him of the era of war.
That was so metal.
Yeah, that's raw.
Yeah.
That's raw. I fucked the hell after I heard that. That's raw as hell.
Yeah, that's so tough.
It's like who does that? I think like Hellboy.
Hellboy was who I thought of too. I know Hellboy did that before.
He goes, fucking rips him off. Like that shit is OD.
That's definitely fire. I wonder if I was gonna, all the references, everything, so it's definitely possible because that's so specific. Like I don't, you don't see that in too many forms of media. But
I think like the show Lucifer, like Lucifer would take off his wings, or if he grew his angel wings, rip his wings off. I think it's very similar to that type of
yeah. So Rodo says the Majesty's death was a shock to everyone, but it was hardest upon the other son of King Harold, Harudijin, which is these guys' first time finding out that information. We as readers kind of knew that already, but this is the first time the Strawhats find out that him and Loki are brothers. Rodo goes on to say that they have different mothers, and that Harudijin was born to another woman prior to the Herald's marriage to the Queen. And because Elbaf did not allow Harudijin's mother to be queen because she was from a different giant nation. And this is when we find out that there are actually factions or different clans within the giants. And Zoro's like, aren't you guys all giants anyway? Like, what does it matter? And Rodo's like, you guys are humans. You guys fight over shit all the time from different clans. Like, true. True.
Yeah.
they got their pure bloods, bro.
Yeah, and they go on to say giants in other areas will tarnish the blood of Elbaf. So Elbaf is apparently the pure blood of the giants to them. Apparently,
I think even that might be a change from the TCB, because I think that one is much more like Rodo is the one saying like blood from other areas will tarnish the blood of Elbaf, when in TCB he said like they say, as if he didn't really believe it. But no, this is something he really believes.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy, because like someone even on Harudin's crew still holds that belief, and obviously Zoro asks him about it later. But now we kind of have an answer as to why Harudin isn't the king. Well, probably that's why he's not the king, because like he's not really considered royalty, it seems, among like some people, which is crazy.
It's funny.
He's Loki's older brother, like, and he's still not the king, even though there's no king. So it's just wild.
Right. It's funny too, because even though I look at Elbaf, right, and it obviously mimics or like camouflages like as like a Renaissance-esque village or whatever, or even or before that like Nordic mythology type or whatever. I still never in my head thought about it like, oh, they have like monarchy hierarchy type thing, you know what I mean? Like I never thought that they use like blood lineage to determine who
who would be like in charge, like
but discriminate too based off of that either. I did like they just seem so peaceful, you know what I mean? Or like I know they fight too, obviously, but I thought at the end of the day that it wasn't like that, But,
yeah, that's just very fair. It seems like the only thing they cared about was strength.
Right.
No,
but I
but
guess
there's more to it.
Yeah, and like human nature, I guess, is undefeatable.
That's why like because right, this chick, the one that we met in Elbaf earlier, she has a kid with a human.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something looked down upon. But it's definitely giving me like Harry Potter, like the Muggles and like the true
Pure
bloods
blood or whatever.
Pure blood, yeah.
Yeah, this nigga Harden is a mudblood, eh?
Yeah, he's fucking mudblood, eh?
It's like a slur, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck, I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, in the Robin flashback of like and Eddie's lobby, Saul says like something about not all the giants are those warmongering ones from Elbaf. So I think there's like a little bit of like we heard something about this before, but now Oda's like, oh yeah, it actually matters to like giants. Even Elbaf.
Yeah, like it's reeling back on its head because like Saul was like, bro, I'm not like those savages. And,
it's like they have the opposite view. It's like, yo, those weak dudes aren't like us. Like
right.
Yeah.
Question: that skull in Anigashima, that was a ancient giant?
Probably, yeah. It has to be.
Did they confirm that?
No,
I don't know.
They never confirmed
They
that.
never confirmed it or anything like that.
Because it looks the same. It's the same shape as the skull that we're seeing now, just way bigger. So
honestly,
I think we thought that it was that, but like there was no, I guess, official confirmation. But everybody theorized that was a ancient giant, skull or whatever.
There's a weird amount of people with horns in One Piece, like Kaido and Yamato and Loki. Now we know why Loki has horns. He's part of Ancient Giant because of his dad. Which begs the question as to why Hardru didn't get Ancient Giant features.
Maybe because it's from the mom. Like also like
that could be the case.
Mom.
It passes down from the mom. That's a great point.
That's true. But also we do have that big ass sword in Elbaf that, like even like the regular giants aren't big enough to hold that wield that giant.
They called Oars the Continent Puller or something like that. So yeah, it seems like maybe even back then ancient giants were even bigger.
Even bigger, bro. That's crazy.
Which wouldn't surprise me. And the a lot of people seem to have like it reminds me of what Ivankov said to Kuma when they first met at God Valley. She said, "You have the blood of giants," in reference to his Buccaneer blood. So it seems like kind of like Ripley and the fact that there's people that have kids with humans and other giants, other ancient giants. Seems like these genes have been passed down. That's why people like Kaido have horns. Yamato, I think Black Maria had horns on the Flying Six.
Yeah.
There's random people with horns, and that kind of maybe this is why.
Whitebeard probably got some ancient giant. Got some.
Buccaneer blood.
I was gonna. I said this like years ago. Like, okay, there has to be a sort of not I won't say necessarily diluted, but like passed down lineage from like starting from giants going all the way down to like what is it like Whitebeard size individuals or whatever, right? Because they make a distinction that giants and humans are like different species, but I've said that like people like Whitebeard and giant humans they definitely have to be like in some shape or form ancestral lineage to like giants in some shape or form, because like Whitebeard's classified as human, but you don't see mugs walking around big. Like,
so Blackbeard probably got some form of ancient giant in them also. I feel like
I wouldn't be
potentially.
Nigga became Jewish post time skip.
Like they're all tied into like the Buccaneers, whatever Blackbeard is, like tied into this ancient giant blood type of like it's just like a different type of mix.
It seems like the pre-Void Century stuff with all the races, like it honestly just makes me think of like where like all the places that Joy Boy had poneglyphs, right? Like Alabasta, Skypiea, Fishman Island, the Minx, right? Like it seems like before this current time period, before the current world government was in power, it seems like there was more mingling, even though it was a weird, different world. You know, it was less sea or whatever. Actually, that's probably why there was more mingling. If there was less sea, because you know, obviously the sea rose because of the ancient weapons, it was probably easier to get around.
Yeah.
And that's why there was more mingling back then compared to what we have now, which is why maybe there's remnants of that, you know, but it's not as common. So yeah, it seems like all that stuff's gonna matter. We're gonna get more context on, you know, relationships back before the voice entry between humans and other races and all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not even sure where we left off. I'm not gonna lie.
The Zoro question, yeah, right there.
It was a Zoro question, right? Yeah. So they're just talking about the bigoted views that giants have towards other giants, and then Zoro asks, "So if Hirudin's blood is tarnished, why are you in his crew?" Then we get a little flashback to Roto getting picked on, called a nerd, a creep, and then Hirudin finding him and finding his sea charts and complimenting him, asking him how to do it, and asking him to be his friend. And he says, unlike me, he is a truly honest and straightforward man. And despite being unable to live in the castle with his father and seeing the way his mother was tormented, he withstood all of that pain and said, I want to unify all of giant kind. I'm the man who will be king of all giants.
Fucking very Luffy-like, bro. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah, and he mentions it because Roto says, I want to help his dreams come true. Oh well, actually, I think this is different. This is a different trilogy.
Yeah,
the
TCB line was way better.
TCB line was fire, yo.
Yeah, he says that kind of boring motivation is nothing new to me, like sarcastically, because that's why he does it. Yeah, that's sick.
Right, that was such a meta line when I read it on the TCB. Like, I like, oh, okay, so Oda's being like,
damn, I gotta find that line.
The
TCB line was way better. This one says, so you can't be reasonable after all. Kind of boring, just making fun of Roto.
Ooh.
Yeah, whatever. It'd be like that. Sometimes TCB, they go crazy sometimes.
Yeah, the flowery, bro. Sometimes
that would have been fire, because that would have been like, because you know what's funny? I could have imagined it, right, in the anime, if that was what he said, like word to word, where he says that, and then he's like, I want to make history a reality. And they play the music, but then Zoro says that, and the music like goes, whoa, like that would have been comedy.
And you can tell, like, whatever the original Japanese was, it's probably something along the same lines, because Nami laughs. Like, like it's clearly supposed to be like, oh yeah, like we kind of have that in common, making Roto seem more like a normal human being.
Yeah. So as they're having this. Yeah, he is. He's growing a little bit though. He's growing. He's a
little. And shout out to Harden too, right? Like that's a, like we said, that's a Luffy-esque motivation.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy to hear that is how his mom was treated or whatever because of her giant blood. I wonder if we'll see this kind of change happen now, or not now, but like start to form in Elbaf while we're here, kind of like Fishman Island, like how it ended with Luffy and Jinbei sharing the blood or whatever. That meant a lot to the people of the Fishman Island. I wonder if we'll start to see some of that change, or if it's gonna be like, you know, later on, you know, epilogue stuff. But yeah, I find it interesting. It was cool. Shout out to the crew. I feel like they're trying to paint the crew kind of like Luffy's crew. The new giant pirates are like a little seed of, like, you know, the great thing about being a pirate.
That's why they were drawn to being part of Luffy's crew. Like, they're very similar in that sense. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. So as they're having this convo, Luffy yells over to them and says he found some giants that are knocked out. This is where we move locations, but if I was a betting man, I would bet that the next time we see these guys is in the underworld.
Yeah, I actually have that prediction too.
Yeah, based on how things go after this, that would be my guess. But yeah,
you mean like the crew?
Yeah, like these guys.
Like these four.
I think the next time we see them, they're back in the underworld.
I could see that. I guess
because
No, you
Oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I was gonna say if you look at who's paired up, you know, you got, you know, Zoro, Luffy, and Sanji all there, right? So definitely
Nami, right? Not Sanji.
I don't think Sanji's there.
Oh wait, oh no, not Sanji. Yeah. Zoro, Nami, Luffy, but Zoro and Luffy, whenever they're paired together, it's, you know,
something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
something's gonna go down.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting that, and you know, based off of, you know, who we see in the panel and who's doing stuff, you know, you already know the matchups, you know the vibes. So I can't wait, honestly.
Yeah, it's gonna be lit.
Yeah,
let's get to it.
I want to say before we leave this part, there's just a few things I want to say. First off, Zoro had his thinking cap on this whole time.
Yeah.
He was asking good questions, you know, like about, he was asking. He was like, it was impressive. But the most impressive thing was at the beginning of this whole thing. He said the door was broken from the inside. I was like, yo, Mr. Detective, who is this guy? I was shocked.
That's
how much Zoro
was locked in now. Man.
Yeah, he's really locked in. It just surprised you a little bit.
Not just that, but the chapter before when he caught Luffy leaving, like he was already waiting for him. Like that shit was OD. Like he already knew. He's like, I already know
He's
how
like, you're acting
Luffy
weird in
is.
there. What's wrong? Yeah.
You know, he's like, you talk to that guy. Yeah, no shit. Like you already figured him out. Like, bro, Zoro's on another level right now. He's like,
locked in.
He's locked in, bro.
Yeah.
Like, he's ready.
And speaking of thinking and the detective work, bro, I have some of my own, bro.
Okay.
I think it's suspicious that out of 101 people, I guess 102, including Loki and the King, only Chief Yarl was the last person to live to survive the encounter with Loki, and he's the only witness and the only person they can trust to give them an account of what happened. I think that's suspicious, and all his words should not be believed. This nigga got a sword in his head. He's the oldest person in the world. I don't believe a word he says about Loki.
I think it's a curse. I think he's like cursed. Like if they take up that sword, he's like out of it. I don't know. Like I think you're right though.
Something's wrong with this.
I don't even blame the theory. Just blaming it on the sword in his head is hilarious. Like this guy got a sword in his head. Something's up with him, yo.
So
I really believe it, bro. Like this nigga got brain damage.
The big bad of this arc. Like
no. I don't even think he like. The thing is, like, I'm not even saying that he's like, you know, he's evil and he's like, you know, hiding just like I just think I think the most likely thing is that his brain is fucked. Like you said, he has a sword in his little brain. Like they're literally making a point to say it went through. Like, you know what I mean? Like your helmet didn't block it. And he's the oldest person in the world. And how could he survive an encounter with Loki? But all these fresh giant guards didn't. The king didn't, right? And also some people point out that the sword in the portrait looks like the sword in his head. That's something that people think. I haven't seen like the hilt of it, so I don't know if I believe it yet.
Yeah, I think people were saying that was actually King Harold's sword.
That's in his portrait.
That's going through his head. So like, why is King Harold doing that?
Right, like it's kind of interesting. So yeah, I just think it's suspicious. I had something else to say, but
he's a bad guy with amnesia.
No, he's not a reliable narrator. I think that's a likely thing. I also think there's a possibility because of all that stuff about Loki being a kind guy. Maybe something else happened, and to protect King Harold's, like who knows? For all this thing about King Harold's peacefulness and who is his king, maybe like he went mad or something, murked all these guards, and Loki stopped him, but they didn't want to tarnish King Harold's reputation, and the two of them colluded to make it seem like Loki did it. I could see something like that as a likely thing too, because they call Loki a kind guy, right? He's a self-sacrificing guy apparently. Like we saw him in this chapter, you know, he doesn't want to give up. He doesn't want to become such a dragon. He's a real nigga. So I don't know. That's all I'm saying, man. Just, stay woke.
I'll keep that one in mind. I'll definitely keep that one in the back pocket.
Yeah.
Moving on to the chapter, we move over to the underworld, where one of the Holy Knights asks, "Is it sinking in yet?" to Loki, who tells them that he can't move. Bloodied and bruised. He's obviously been getting fucked up. One of them says, "It doesn't change our question." The other one says, "A member of the common rabble receiving a chance to join the rank of gods is a miracle one can only dream of, and we're offering you that miracle now." This is Gunko. And she has created boots, super high boots. I don't know if it's a devil fruit.
It has to be.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Because you can see it's forming with her right leg.
Yeah.
Arrows. So it has to be part of a devil fruit.
Yeah.
So she's created giant boots. She stomps the ground with these boots, and then 2 arrows pop out from underneath her feet, and they create lines in front of Loki's face. One line veers to the right, and one line goes directly up, parallel to his head. He says, "Not again," and then he says, "So your foot's gonna accelerate to kick my right cheek, and after I've turned the other way, you'll give me an uppercut with that fist of yours. Thanks for the heads up." The Gunko says, "Those arrows are the confirmed path of my very future, a declaration of unavoidable violence, but it's possible for me to change course." So this is apparently her ability. She asks Loki one more time, "Will you join the Holy Knights?" Stops for a second, and he says, "Hell no, moron." Like the realest nigga, like the real nigga he is. And as the arrow's trajectory points out, he receives a kick to the right, and then she spins and hits him with an uppercut in the same trajectory as the arrows. So, like, I want to say like motion fruit almost, but like, I feel like the arrows themselves are also seem like ropes.
I think they're like, she's giving me like that chick from Demon Slayer that was doing like.
That's what I was gonna say. Yes, the last episode too. I'm so mad. Yo, you just got me tight. I'm not gonna lie. Because I was gonna say that shit last episode and I forgot, bro. And I was gonna say it this one too. But yeah, she does remind me of that girl from like one of the first arcs in Demon Slayer. She had the same thing.
Like whatever arrow direction she's showing is just inevitable. That's what's gonna happen. Like,
but you see, like, my thing is, if it was just that and it was only for movement, then I'd get it. But like, it seems like they're almost tangible, like control, like rope. Like she tied up the dog with it as well. So like,
we get the name of it later, right? It's the arrow fruit.
Do we?
Yeah, it says in her little panel thing when they show her and Shamrock's name.
Oh, I honestly did not read that. That's crazy.
It's all good. So I think one thing I'll say about her, because at first I was I did not understand her ability at all. But I think taking the future words at face value is a little misleading. Not misleading, but like, you would think, okay, so she's kicking and punching him. Like, what is that? How did that make her hands and feet giant? I think, the arrows just make whatever she wants happen. Like, I don't think it's really about trajectory. It's like she can do whatever she fucking wants, but her arrows will make it happen.
Facetious by using the arrows like that. Like she just taunt, like, and not. I don't know if I'd say a taunt, but it could be like a taunt, and so to speak, like how she using the arrows like that.
And I think specifically to explain her hands and feet becoming giant, I think the arrows just do what they have to do to make stuff happen, even if it kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Bends reality. Like the fucking dog was floating in midair, right? But the arrow just made that so. It just decreed it almost. So her ability almost seems kind of like fucking like all like ridiculously powerful. So, but it doesn't surprise me. I have a feeling that the God's Knights, because remember they gave CP9 devil fruits. I feel like that might have been a precursor to giving the God's Knights the best devil fruits. And
that makes sense.
Understand
so OP, like you gotta like think abstract out of the box type of way.
Yeah, I feel that's where we're going with devil fruits. All this stuff about like possible futures and imaginations.
Yeah.
I think Bonnie's a good example. She thought it was a time fruit, and devil fruit is basically she can do whatever the fuck she wants, kind of like Luffy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she's just stretching her ability to the very limits.
Yeah, this is crazy because even on the next panel, we see she has like arrows stabbing some of the freaking animals around her and shit.
Yeah, it's like, what does that even mean? Right?
This fruit is crazy. This fruit is definitely nuts. So Loki says you'll regret this, but before she can get another attack off, he says stop. He says enough already. She asks, "Will you join?" And he sticks his tongue out. He's really gangster. He's gangster. I can't lie. We hear screams of pain, and he continues just getting beat up. The other figure watches in the shadows as Gunko begins to exhaust herself. She starts panting, and this is when the figure says, "That's enough already. Let's change tactics. Contact Mary Joie. I'm sick of all these useless people. I'd hope we could have settled this much more cleanly." And with that, we get the full face reveal of the commander of the Holy Knights, Garland Shamrock, son of Saint Garling of the Five Elders.
Insane.
So I know when we saw that Garland, I know one of us had said that we think that this twin or Shanks lookalike was going to be the next in charge. So.
Oh yeah, it was me. I was actually.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow, I got that right.
Yeah, you got that right. So.
Dubs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just finish the chapter. Gunko says it seems he'd rather die than join us. Is this some religious thing? And then Shamrock says the vicious warriors of Elbaf, who conquered the New World long ago, will be brought under the command of the world government once and for all. Yeah, for Garland Shamrock, he's in the building. He has no insignia, sign, scar, anything on his face. It's completely clean.
Perfection.
It is looking like
whoa,
not perfection. I'm weak.
Cell?
Yeah, I was thinking of Cell. Like
he's fucking
like,
perfect Cell, bro. Come on, man.
Like, geez, if he was on that type of energy, I'd be like, oh no, not so this
How
conceited.
beautiful that hair is, bro. Like this
he
guy
does
that
have
shit
a very
flowing,
pristine.
bro.
He has a very pristine look. He has a very pristine
That
look
shit
for
flowing.
sure. What are we thinking about the reveal of the character?
Well, I guess the theories about, I mean, I guess this could theoretically still be true, but I think now the idea of him being the man marked by flames might be a little bit dead, at least in my opinion.
God.
Yeah.
I
agree with you.
Yeah, because I think that if we see the man marked by flames is going to be like on his face somewhere or distinct. At first, I thought it was like super meta, right? Because Oda was hiding his face. Obviously, we thought already that was like Shanks' twin or whatever. It would have been like even more meta if one like that really was Shanks and Oda was purposely doing the okey doke or whatever to have a stake that you know that wasn't Shanks, but it actually was. But that would be like crazy Inception type shit. Or two, that was the man marked by flames as well. That's why he was intentionally hiding his face, because I mean I'm pretty sure as soon as we saw him, everybody knew that was like, everyone thought like, oh, that ain't Shanks, whatever.
Yeah, because we just saw Shanks.
But we thought that could have been the man marked by flames as well, and that's why Oda was hiding his face, because instead of the scars, it would have been some type of burn mark or something, right?
I think that's what we thought at first. And now that I'm thinking about it, he also might have just been trying to get people that weren't as locked in, right? Because I mean, if you read One Piece, once a week, you never think about it again.
Right.
You might feasibly think like, why is Shanks with this woman, right? And like we're not seeing left side of his face. Like I think a theory, like people, because we're like probably a minority of people that are locked in, right?
Right.
So yeah, I think there's a lot of people that this could be Shanks, but finally the allegations are beat forever. Yeah, he's not evil. He's just a guy now. He's just
a guy.
Yeah.
Shanks is in the clear. Shanks is in the clear.
Mr. What's up?
I hope it's more of a twin than I don't want it to be a clone. I want it to be a twin.
I'm sure it's a twin. I'm sure it's a twin.
I'm almost 1,000% sure twin as well.
And I also saw a really cool theory that would further back the twin claim from Typical Joe on Twitter, that the Holy Knights possibly may represent the zodiac star signs.
Yeah.
Because we have Gunko with the arrow, that would be Sagittarius. Shanks and Shamrock would be Gemini for twins. And I'll see if I can pull the panel.
There was a guy with the mask in the God's Knights in God Valley.
Mask from God's Valley. Which would possibly be the Taurus. So yeah, it's a possibility that they could be the zodiac signs, which would mean that Shanks and Shamrock would be twins. Apparently.
That's fire. We know Oda likes to do shit like that, so that really wouldn't surprise me. It's kind of nuts that we're looking at Shanks' brother like after all these years. Like that's Shanks'
it is just a fucking wild thing to just be looking at, right? Like just
Dude, he's so clean, bro. Like, and not just that. It just,
Yo, Mister, you gotta like.
Yo,
Dude, he's so clean.
yo,
Like,
Mister, it's something. Yo.
I'm sorry, bro.
I'm still weak at the perfection.
Bro, like, so it made me think like what actually happened at God Valley was when they split, and that's when we get like Roger takes one twin,
Yeah.
we took Shanks, and then Garland took Shamrock, and then like we get to see the two different paths, like how they're raised, and like they're prominent motherfucking. One's a Yonko, the other one's the captain of the Holy Knights, like.
So they're both incredibly strong.
Yeah, Oh man. So, do you guys think we're gonna get a Luffy versus Shamrock?
Yeah, that's definitely coming.
100% happening.
That's what I was saying.
And that's part of my bad, bro. That's part of why I said earlier. I think that the next time we see Luffy and them is here, possibly with the meeting with Shamrock. I think that them setting up I think that Oda's setting up Luffy and them to meet the knocked out giants off screen, possibly anyway, because we could just go back to that panel next chapter. But if we possibly sets up the meeting with the knocked out giants off screen, they tell them exactly what's happening. The first thing they're gonna want to do is go down there to the underworld and see what's going on, especially Luffy, who just made a deal with Loki. So I genuinely think it could happen within the next couple of chapters, possibly. I'm not 100% on the theory.
I think it.
But
I'll do you one better. It'll happen next chapter.
Next chapter. If it happens next chapter, that's 100% the ending of the chapter. Is them looking at each other face to face. For sure.
Yeah.
Right after, yes.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. But yeah, I definitely think that's the way it's looking to set up for them to have a meeting sooner than later.
Bro, dude, Shamrock versus Luffy, Gunko versus Zoro, and then Nami is the one that frees Loki because she's the cat burglar. Like, that'd be dope.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Nami swipes the key somewhere.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah,
swipes the key, unlocks Loki, and then we get to see like
Loki showcase. Loki showcase a little bit.
He's gonna see Luffy go gear. Oh man,
Loki seeing Luffy going gear. I'm waiting for a lot of these characters on this island to see Gear 5.
I know.
And Oda's been teasing it too because they've been talking about Gear 5 in front of Luffy. The Giants have been talking about Gear 5 in front of Luffy, or the Sun God Nika in front of Luffy throughout the entire arc, and he hasn't transformed once.
Yeah,
he hasn't had a need to yet.
Yeah.
Well, he did go Luffy Gear 5 in the when they escaped initially.
Oh, you're right. So some of them have seen it, but some of them on the island haven't seen it. Loki for sure is one of them.
We're on the people inside, like in that little dollhouse, whatever. But like, no one else. And I would love Luffy stays Gear 4 just to test him out, And then Loki comes out showcase like he thinks he's really Gear 5, and then Luffy comes out, like the real Gear 5. People see it because there's a commotion going on, and then we get everyone sees the reveal. Oh, dude.
Speaking of Luffy Gear 5, random. I'm gonna throw a shot out there that probably is not true, but Harold died 14 years ago, and Shanks stole the Nika fruit 13 years ago. It was in the government's possession 13 years ago. Is that a coincidence?
Do you think the government got it from Elbaf?
Well, they found it after Harold died, maybe. And
also Harold might have had it.
Yeah, like that might actually have been the fruit. I doubt it.
We don't know. That's why like it's hard to confirm.
But we know Loki has the fruit, though. No?
Do we know Loki has the fruit? We just know he says he can't move. Yeah, he probably does have the fruit.
I think
they said that he killed Harold to gain his fruit.
They said all that, man. They said all that. I don't know if I believe it.
That's fair. I do think that there's a lot under the curtains that under the surface level of what everybody's saying throughout this entire arc that we haven't got to yet.
I think like him not being able to move in the Sea Stone is probably the biggest indication that he has devil fruit. Which would be the devil fruit. So it's probably not. Probably is a coincidence.
Luffy could have broken them if that wasn't the case.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm sure it's Sea Stone. Yeah. I was just wondering.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's why Loki probably can't move. It really is Sea Stone. He really does have a devil fruit. Yeah. And I think another interesting point is the thing that Shamrock, I really don't like calling him that.
I like the name, bro.
Yeah, Shanks' brother fit a little better.
Shanks and Shamrock, holy shit, they're both SHs.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Which is really weird because like, did what's his name? Did Garland name Shanks or did Roger and Raylan? Like,
I don't know. Like people, I saw
Shank
someone.
sounds too piratey. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
but what a coincidence. SHA, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but if Film Red was any indication, right? Because we suspect that the baby that Roger and Rayleigh were talking about, was Shanks or whatever. Then I'm assuming they named him because a baby can't
that's what I'm saying.
introduce himself as Shanks.
Yeah.
Like,
He might have had a name tag or something. I don't know.
Or that too. That's all. But that'd be crazy. But then that'd be crazy though. Like, because I thought that at first I thought it might have been an accident as to like him being in there. But I mean, if they intentionally was trying to give Shanks away, like that's.
It reminds me of. I mean, you had a great point a few episodes ago about like I think ReZero is an anime that had like the twins being a bad omen. You can't keep both of them type shit.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good point, but I now I'm thinking about it, it could be something like Sanji's mom, right? How she wanted to save Sanji from the experimentation. It could be that maybe Shanks' mom.
Oh, Shanks' mom
wanted to give one of them a chance to not be born in this celestial dragon. We saw that with Doflamingo's dad, right? He didn't want to live there anymore.
Yeah.
So it's not
True.
unheard of. So I think that's a possibility. I wanted to say that the ending of the chapter, the vicious warriors of Elbaf who conquered the New World long, long ago. I think Morris made a video a while ago about how the Adam in the void century there was probably a big kind of like now, right? If the ancient weapons keep being used, the idea of finding land that has a high living point like above the sea is really important because of the sea level rising, right?
Yeah.
And the Adam tree back then was probably the center of a lot of the war in the New World. And it makes sense that the giants were the people who won back then to find a place to survive. I thought that was a great tidbit, and it seems like we kind of get a little bit of that confirmed, Loki, right? How they conquered the New World a long time ago. That's why they live on the Adam tree, which is at the very end of the New World. I thought that was pretty interesting.
I think it makes sense though, right? Because like we know that Nika was like the first, like the whole lore started, so that I feel like they conquered it first, then like the first time, and then the government decided to wipe everything. That's why it got destroyed. Because it got destroyed what, twice?
The world apparently was destroyed twice.
It was destroyed twice. Like it's also giving me a little bit like a few like another series that I was reading like that about the world being destroyed. But like so like I feel like the government just someone betrayed Nika, and that's right a possibility because of what with the robot apologizing. So it's crazy. So many questions, bro. Like, where has this guy been? Fucking good looking over here, bro. Like,
yo, Mister, bro. Yo,
I'm sorry, yo, dude. Look at him, bro. Look at him, bro. He's dripped out, dude. This is crazy.
Yo, this guy, Mr. Shamrock, number one
dude. Like, oh my god, bro. Like,
no, yeah, I saw people floating like, this guy could be possibly, like this guy could be capable, like he could be the reason for what a lot of people think Shanks did a few things. I don't know if I believe, some of them. But you never know. Some people might, like, I think maybe, what's his name? Loki still. Actually, no, now that Loki's looking at him, I wonder what Loki's reaction is going to be, right? He has a blindfold on. Maybe he can't see him. Maybe he doesn't realize that this is someone he's seen before, or he looks like Shanks. I have no idea.
Well, he's not like, his head is down, so he's not even like able to look at it.
I mean, he has bandages over his eyes anyway.
True.
Yeah. So yeah, I man, even that now I find interesting that Oda is doing that, right? Like that Oda's not letting him see Shamrock. I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting.
I still don't like the name though. I don't.
It's so bad. It's gonna take a while.
So that's the only thing that's not perfect. Yeah,
it's gonna take some time to get used to.
I know some people.
Why don't? Let me ask. Why don't y'all like the name?
It's ugly.
It's ugly.
Sound like an Irishman, bro. Like
that's what I thought. That's what I thought too. I thought that was like the point.
It fits.
It doesn't fit for me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at this dude and I see Shamrock and it doesn't click for me. I don't know.
Bro, it's you know what? You know why? It's because we're thinking Shamrock Shake, bro. So some people were saying that Ferguson was supposed to name him Shanks Shake, and then Roger's like, fuck that, yo, name him Shanks instead. Like, they're supposed to be Shamrock Shake, bro.
Well, yeah, when I hear Shamrock, I'm thinking of like Irish
leprechaun. Yeah.
But he has red hair too, like the origin. The look,
it makes sense.
It makes sense to me. I don't know.
No, it makes sense. It makes it just unwieldy.
It's fucking unwieldy.
That's my team.
Regardless, Shamrock, ridiculous.
One probably last thing. While Shanks is clear of the evil twin allegations,
Yeah,
kind of. Not 100% off the clear yet.
no.
Wait, how is he not?
I mean, I've seen a couple people saying that because they didn't show that right eye in the Gorosei meeting, that could still possibly be Shanks, and that this is just a red herring.
I mean, technically, it's not it's not confirmed. You're right, or they're right.
Well, that meeting, the Gorosei meeting, is not confirmed because we've only seen
we don't know
them
that was
the,
Shamrock and not
right.
Shanks. But I still think it's probably was Shamrock. Actually, I'm glad we could talk about that because actually my going theory right now is that Shamrock tells them about Luffy's devil fruit. That's my going theory.
Tells who?
Because sorry.
Tells who?
In the Gorosei meeting, he was like, "Yeah, the certain pirate is Monkey D. Luffy. You should double your efforts to capture him because he has the Nika fruit or something like that." That's my
Yeah.
That's the beginning of Wano, and then in the end they go after him, right?
Which is why all of a sudden, right, you just see them talking about the Nika fruit. And,
like that same arc, right?
Yeah, in Wano, and out of nowhere, like they never showed any concern, and we were wondering about that. We were wondering, like, okay, is this an ass pull?
Yeah,
because,
I remember that being a complaint that we had while we were going through Wano. Like they started going hard out of nowhere.
I remember that.
Yeah,
so
that
Oda
makes
might
sense.
show like if okay, so it's settled. If Shamrock says that Luffy, like the pirate, to be worried about is Luffy due to Nika fruit, then Oda is covering his bases. Like
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he was.
If that's the case, for sure.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just think it makes sense.
that makes sense. No, it does.
Because I definitely think because he was also wearing that hood that we
Yeah.
see him in today.
Well, that's why he had it, right? That was like because he
yeah,
had the
that's
hood
true.
to make him think that he looks like Shanks because he knows someone out there he could just frame this dude. He's doing the fucking Homelander shit, bro. Like some crazy. Like,
That would lead.
Yeah.
That would lead me to wonder how he would have known about Luffy's fruit.
Yeah, facts. And to that, I don't have an answer.
Yeah.
But also, I think the other answer is Blackbeard, and I think what that could have been is, in Egghead, when Karen Devon and Van Alger talk to Saturn, they talk about how Blackbeard has a special lineage, and Karen Devon hears Saturn say that, and she's like, "You know about that?" Which I always thought was interesting because it's like, was he supposed to not know about? Was it a secret? And maybe that's what Shamrock might have told them about Blackbeard, like if he was talking about him. So I think there's a few ways it could have gone. But I mean, I view the Holy Knights as like the strongest version of CP0 or whatever. Like, they're like get shit done.
They gotta be. They gotta be.
Yeah, have to be. But
so
the
I
way
wouldn't be
they,
surprised.
but you see how they can get in and out though, right? Like they got into Elbaf so effortlessly through like what was that, teleportation, summoning, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, who's to say they can't do that in anywhere? And maybe if at some weird point we'll see a flashback of them doing the exact same thing on Luffy's ship or something. Like that could be some wild thing to see. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I will say I think it would be kind of broken if they could do that. Like, if they could just teleport anywhere. I have a feeling that the fact that because they teleport to a weird area on the island. I feel like the castle room, right? I think that's kind of specific, especially the fact that they're investigating that right now, right? Like what was going on there 14 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a believer in this conspiracy, so I think I wouldn't be surprised if somehow they marked it, beforehand, because it would be fucking broken if they could just.
I think a return to places that they've been to.
Yeah, like Kuma. That's how Kuma's Delphi works. He can send people where he's been before in the world. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I think it'd be fucked if they could just teleport wherever they wanted, right?
True. That would be fucked in an anime where the sea eclipse, like, what is it here? Like 95% sea, 5% land right now.
Probably even
like
bigger.
that?
Yeah. Like, it's nuts. So I completely agree.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Anything else that we want to talk about, bring up before we wrap it up?
No, I think that's honestly it. Next chapter next week.
Chapter next week.
Predictions. Is Shamrock stronger than Shanks?
No, hell no.
You know what? I don't think he's weaker though. I think they're even.
Think they're dead even?
Yeah.
I definitely think Shamrock is probably Yonko tier. But I could not see a world where he defeats Shanks one-on-one in a fair fight. I don't know why I think that. I just, bro, like, there's just no way, bro.
See, I think that's just being blinded by Shanks.
Probably, man.
That's
perfection.
I respect that. He said perfection.
So
I respect it.
But no, I think like, I don't know. I'm just being like in a meta narrative sense. Like, I don't know. This guy, he's the like because obviously I think what Oda's gonna do with this is like, the extreme nature versus nurture, right?
Yeah.
And I think Shamrock is doing it the wrong way. He's a noble, he's a scumbag,
right?
Yeah.
And Shanks is like the model for Luffy, the way mans are supposed to be. I don't know, I'd be shocked if Oda was like, yeah, Shamrock is just as strong. I don't know, I know that's not a moral argument at all, or like logical, but that is what I'm with.
I don't know.
I feel like with the twins thing, they usually do like equal strength type of thing.
Yeah.
But oh man, I lost what I was gonna say.
Do you guys think some of the Gods Knights are stronger than some of the elders?
Yeah.
No.
That's
no,
hard.
I don't think so.
The elders talking about the Gorosei, right?
Yeah.
I feel like the
Wait, you said some? You said
yeah,
some,
specifically
right?
some. I don't think all of them will be.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This nigga right here, Shamrock.
This is
stronger than
hard,
Shamrock?
Right.
Yeah.
I'll go out on a limb and say yes.
I think I agree with you.
Only because, like, from what I've personally seen from like the Gorosei so far, I'm not 100% sure if I am convinced that they are of the same tier as like the strongest in the verse yet, because like I saw Frankie do some stuff, Chopper was able to do a little thing here and there.
Luffy was making Saturn look stupid, bro.
Yeah,
like,
bro,
other
I
than
was
the
literally
regeneration.
just about to say that shit. Yeah.
At the same time, though, Luffy did have a hard time like
with
punching what's his face.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mercury,
and that was, he noted like, that was the punch that Black Kaido, like,
Yeah.
So I don't know. They're obviously trying to make a comparison there. Like, hey, like, are these Yonko tier people? Huh? Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard, but
That's why I think like Shamrock is probably stronger than Saturn, maybe. But
I think Saturn was definitely the lowest to low.
Yeah,
That dude was booty, bro.
He was definitely buns. Yo, they had him going at the end. They had him going against Nami, Usopp, and Chopper at the very end.
Could take them out. I was gonna ask, do you guys
he got
think
clowned on by Frankie like once or
he
twice?
did.
So
He did. I was gonna ask you guys, do you think Luffy will hesitate when he fights against Shamrock?
No.
yeah.
no.
No.
I agree.
Oh no.
I
think
so.
he will. I think he'll do the thing where like Zoro and Nami will be like, "Isn't that Shanks?" And then Luffy will be like, "Are you guys stupid? That's obviously not fucking Shanks."
Yeah.
Oh,
Luffy's
true.
Luffy's too in tune.
Yeah, I saw someone bring up that like he called Kaku Usopp, and there was one more that he had, or I think he called Sanji's sibling Sanji. I think even he called Sanji's sister Sanji when he first met her. But I think that's like a joke. I don't think that's serious at all. I mean, maybe he's not joking, but I think it's an Oda gag.
Definitely.
And I think this is I don't think Oda will take this as. I mean, maybe, who knows? He could always do it as a joke, but I think, and also he has a second arm. He's not missing an arm. So
This is true.
there's that.
Like I said,
True.
perfection.
Yeah.
Perfection.
True. On top of that, like, he'll just say something like "Evil Shanks." He'll call him Evil Shanks by the end of this. Or
Yeah, that would be
like
sick. That would be sick if we get that little. He was like, it's like when we first saw him.
Well, TCB will do it. I don't know about him,
They'll make it
TCB
happen.
will do it.
Don't kill me, bro. But yeah,
Wouldn't even be
that's all it-
surprised.
That's it. That sounds good.
All right. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode, man. Big shout out to everybody in the chat holding down with us. If you guys are not following us on socials, make sure you follow us on @Strawhat Sitdown on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Look for us, you will find us. Make sure you guys check out the episodes live every Sunday on twitch.tv/Cali_Mac or YouTube @Strawhat Sitdown every Sunday. Come chat with us, hang out with us.
Yes, sir.
Big shout outs to everybody listening, watching this after the fact on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, etc. We appreciate you guys as well. That's gonna be about it. Once again, we are gonna be hosting a giveaway for our 150th episode. Make sure you guys follow us on our socials. Again, Strawhat Sitdown on all platforms to find out the info on our next giveaway to see when you could possibly win one of these awesome 3D printed fruits. All right, so follow us on social, stay updated for that. But yeah, it's gonna be it for us. Again, we have no break next week, so we'll be back next Sunday with another chapter. Definitely looking forward to it. Very excited. It's gonna be lit. Elbaf is peak.
Yes,
and yeah, it's gonna be it for us. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, you guys take it easy, be safe, be healthy. We appreciate you guys, and we will see y'all when we see y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Perfection.
Yeah.
Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Strawhat Sitdown crew in the building. We Corona to these other podcasts. We gon' put these people in their feelings when they hear this and they know that they can't top this. We spit facts and we poppin'. Every time an episode is dropping, we see D3 in the corner. Mister, that's a real G with the green screen in the background. Got him looking like he in a real scene. We got Big Mod in the cut. Always ready with rebuttals, but he bring the knowledge when we in the huddle, so you know the crew is never gonna fumble. That is why us, last but not least, if you ask me, then Cali, mad at captain, make him rally around me. Every Sunday, we gon' run deep, and we can't stop until we find out about that one piece. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We